welcome to the third iteration of this devlog. In this video I'm going to be making leader stats and data saving, and of course making the game actually playable. So let's just get right into it. So of course I started by not making leader stats or making the game playable, but making some UI, because of course I need to make the UI display before the UI even had something to actually display. So I followed a couple tutorials because I didn't remember how to do it, and I didn't actually know how to do it. Of course I needed to try and script it, but you know how that goes, probably. Terrible. I think I followed some random tutorial where I had to press the button, but that is not what my game was about. So I had to remake it later without a tutorial, or with a different tutorial more like. And remember, this is my first game, so there's gonna be a lot of I followed a tutorial, because I'm a doofus. And by that I mean I'm stupid, or at least I don't know how to do stuff. But I think it ended up looking okay, but I'll probably still remake it, because, well, it was the first UI I made, and it's kinda ugly. Almost as ugly as the goblin I made. You know, Boblin. I'll definitely remake him. Now, it's finally time to make a working clicking system. First I made the clicking system. It was pretty easy, actually. I finally learned how to do it. But then I had to make a data store, and I figured out very quickly that the two data stores I tried didn't work with my current clicking system. So I had to find another solution. So I did the same thing as the tutorial did and made it so the power gain was automatic. But I didn't come to that solution instantly. Of course not. No, it took me I don't know how long, but it took me a couple tries until I actually got to that solution. I actually had to follow the tutorial multiple times. As you can see here, I actually ended up deleting the whole script and then trying again. But I still had the old script. So I think it took me a couple of hours before I realized that this wouldn't work. This also got boring, so I ended up just hopping on a call with a friend, and he was making some animations. But no more postponing it. I finally made a system, and it finally worked. And also, I don't remember why, but I rebuilt the map. Oh, I think it was something about my friend also figured out that you could jump up the walls, so I had to fix that. But the system was working fine. In the end, I ended up doing that. But you can't just have a game where you just sit and gain power. At least not, that wouldn't be fun. So I decided that there was some way of gaining extra power. And one of my friends suggested I added swords, and the better the sword, the more power you would gain every second. And that was a great idea, so I decided to implement that. But not right now. There was lots of stuff to do still, like making the map prettier. So I spent a bunch of time just finding assets online that I could use to make the map, and also some lighting settings. But to implement the swords and to fit in with the new map, I decided that I should put in a shop. So I did that. I just found one on a toolbox. And remember, if you use stuff from the toolbox, remember to check them for scripts and check what the scripts do. But this one had no scripts, and I also colored it pink just so it would match the vibe. And then I started trying to make the shop. Also, if you guys want to see more of my scripting or watch me go more in depth with the scripting, then please tell me in the comments. I think it seems pretty boring, but I don't know what you guys think, so make sure to comment if you want to see the scripting. But scripting the shop was a great idea. Not. I really don't know how to do it, and I couldn't even make the eye go visible. So I started doing something else. I started modeling the sword, or the first sword, and it worked. It actually looked pretty good, probably the best thing I made. While making the sword, at some point, I also made some animations, or tried to make some animations, and I couldn't figure that out. I always forget how to do the animations. I can make animations, but I always forget how I script them. So every time I have to watch the tutorial, but I think I finally remembered. And here's a time lapse of me just making the animations. This is the first one. This is the right punch. It looks pretty good on the rig, but I'll realize later that something's wrong. Don't worry. And while we're here watching me animate, why don't you, if you enjoyed the video, click subscribe. I'm a pretty small channel and I'd like to grow my games and my channel, so if you enjoyed this video, then subscribe or just like. I also made a left punch and an uppercut before starting to script it. But this was a bit more difficult than normally, because I think I did something wrong, because it says it made an error that was called could not load animation clip provider service. So I spent a lot of time trying to fix that, and I had to find out how to do it. I even hopped on the forums to try and figure it out, and that luckily worked. This is where you can really see that I'm starting to get better at Blender, because I didn't really want to make like a pathfinding system for an AI. I want to make a dummy that you punched to train, and I mean, you can see the results. It went pretty well. I'm still learning the different shapes and stuff, but I'm learning. And for those of you wondering, I can't really explain how to fix the animation clip provider service stuff, but I'd recommend searching on the forums, but they're a bit confusing, so maybe on YouTube, just on a tutorial on how to make animations. I also built a place for the dummies to stand because I wanted there to be multiple of them. So I just made a simple like wooden floor with some red carpet, or I think it was like light carpet with some red carpet, and with a couple of dummies copy pasted by the back of it. I also finally decided to rework the kinda ugly UI, so this one would also display your health and your power in a bit of a different way. And I also did something trying to make the sword holdable. And that's it for today. And one last time, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.